as it happened. No, but the point is, I was never leaving the club. I was never in the position to either. But I would never in a million years leave United.
That is my own.
But that doesn't mean I was right. It doesn't mean the lads that left were wrong.
So I've got no problem with.
Draw it to a conclusion.
No, but I've got no problem with him going. If he goes, I'd be like, good luck to you. Free transfer, Real Madrid on your CV, biggest club in the world. I've got no problem with that. My only thing, and it's not anger or I'm angry with him, it's more just disappointment from because I think what I would have been in that position, I'd have loved to have been playing for the best team in the league or the best team. I never did that. And I just always thought in my head, as a local player, your job's to bring more trophies back to this club. And when you finish, can you be above United in league titles? Can you have 8 European Cups? He can do that at his club. That's just a disappointment from me.
He says that, but he'll have that mural down 10 minutes after he leaves. Him and his mates will be in the cars.
Yeah. Me and my father and Steve.
I hope he stays, man. I really do. I really hope that Trent stays at the football club because I want him to go down as a legend, and if he doesn't stay, I want him to go down as a legend.
He's already done well.
I think many neutrals would want him to stay as well because we just love watching him play. He didn't have a great game today, but we love watching him play,
I think he's
especially
got to
going forward.
I think he's got to go to that Madrid. Go for it, man.
So if they come calling, you're going to answer, is what you're saying?
But Roy, to be fair, it's interesting that you've said since you've retired, you obviously had interest from Juventus and Bayern Munich, and as part of you wishes you'd gone for it.
Yeah, for a player, I think, for that experience for him, and again, it's not as if he's played 50 games, he's played hundreds of games. And James on about being the best team in the league. They might be the best team at this moment in time, but it's not as if they've won loads of titles. But he's got, and if Liverpool have dragged their heels with contracts, it's called a bit of self-worth. And a club comes in, if you like Real Madrid, then I'd say to the lad, go for it. Go for it. It's a short career.
We'll get back to Carra and Nev and Keane and Sturridge in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D Talks Football video hits. And as ever, if something is on your mind, please put it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments and he's always interested in what you have got to say. Anyway, welcome to the Big D's new channel, the Big D Talks Football, and in this channel, the Big D is going to be doing just that, talking about football, everything and anything, all the hot topics, the Big D is going to be talking about it. Obviously, if you're a Man United fan, go over to @TheBigD_. That's specifically Man United in England, but in this one, it's everything else. Anyway, in this little clip, it's from Sky Sports from a couple of months back, and it's in light of Trent Alexander-Arnold revealing that he wants to go to Real Madrid. I've dug this up from a couple of months back when Neville, Carra, Keane and Sturridge had an intense, fiery and hilarious debate about this very subject. So I thought it was quite appropriate to use this as the first video, considering it's about a Liverpool player and the Big D's a United fan. It's quite poetic. Anyway, here's the lads. Stick around for after the clip because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on this whole Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. Here they are.
You're a local lad as well. That won't be easy, the distractions of having all that noise. Real Madrid are a hell of an animal. I thought it was insulting, to be fair, from Real Madrid. I mean, they behave like that sometimes. They think they can get what they want. But Liverpool, are a football club of immense stature. They're never going to sell Trent Alexander-Arnold for 20 million quid to you in January. So you're taking the mick a little bit, you know what I mean? You're taking the mickey out of us. So I think that will have probably unnerved him this week. You can imagine his agents, his family all say, oh, what's happening, Trent? You can imagine that noise going on in his head before this game, which I don't think would have been helpful. I know that footballers...
Yeah, but they would have known what was happening.
OK, so you said that up there on the... Sorry, just to let you know, we're just on a podcast where he said he thinks that Trent's people will have invited the bid from Real Madrid. I think that's quite a big suggestion to make, personally.
Well, what I'm saying is, we're not naive enough. These two lads have been involved in transfers. We haven't, but I'm not naive enough to think that Real Madrid would put a bid in January for a player who they can get for nothing in sort of 4 months.
Why would Trent's people say put a bid in when they know it's going to be turned down?
Do you seriously believe that they don't know nothing about... So this bid comes in and they're sat at home, see it on Sky Sports News.
I know they know about it, but why would Trent Alexander-Arnold's people think it's a good idea for him, knowing Liverpool are going to say no?
Because he's getting a lot of criticism for the fact that he might leave for free. Now, if Trent Madrid put a bid in January and then Liverpool don't accept it, maybe they can say at the end of the season, well, you were offered 30 or 40 million. It's just, for me, it was almost to buy a little bit of time at the end of the season when if he goes for free, that they can say, well, Liverpool were offered 20, 30 million in January. There was no way Liverpool...
Daniel, do you think it's realistic, Daniel?
It's a lose-lose either way you go. If you leave for free or if you leave now, it's a lose-lose. Obviously, everyone that's involved in the football club should want him to stay. in these moments when a player is, running his contract down, and I've been in a situation when I was at Man City as a young player, when you're in these moments and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want to stay at the football club. The club clearly known all this time that Trent Alexander-Arnold's contract was running down. We're now going to put it all on Trent and make out as if it's Trent's fault that Real Madrid have put a bid in when his contract has 6 months left. He's one of the best players in the world in his position, as is Mo Salah, as is Virgil van Dijk. Neither of the three of them should be in this predicament. So we can't say,
but presumably,
Trent...
Daniel, they've had opportunities to sign a contract at some stage.
Dave, we don't know that. We don't know if contracts have been offered and contracts were rejected. Obviously Jurgen's contract and him coming out last season saying, hey guys, I'm leaving. That was a spanner in the works for everybody, and I think the club were at panic stations. They're probably thinking, okay, our priority right now is to find the best manager to replace Jurgen Klopp. We'll put the contracts on the back burner. Maybe we can find, we'll sort the guys out later on. But for me, to leave these three players in a predicament like this,
I said that to him. I said that to him up there. The club obviously have let these contracts all run down simultaneously, all three together. Three of the best players in the club, probably the most valuable three players in the club. And the problem is with football clubs, because I know I own a football club, when you've signed a player or you've brought a player through the ranks, it hurts you sometimes when you feel like you've got to pay for the transfer fee again. Do you understand what I mean by that? So like Mo Salah now, the economics of Mo Salah is he wants a 3-year deal at 400 grand a week, which is 20 million a year, which is 60 million. But to replace, if that's what he wants, he probably deserves that and should get it, because to replace Mo Salah, you probably have to pay 60, 70 million for a fee and 10, 15 million a year, so it'll cost you 120 million.
And there's no guarantee that player will come in and do what Salah's doing.
And with his crossing, so I thought he was disappointing on the ball.
But his contract situation, but I don't understand. There's a lot of negativity and local fans will be having a go at him. But if they don't agree a contract and he leaves, and the amount of games he's played for Liverpool is well over 300, he's won titles, and if Liverpool... Why can't everyone show a little bit of class and say, listen, we can't agree a deal, but you're 26, 27, all the best to you.
Daniel, is that realistic?
Why can't that happen? Why can't the club say, well, we can't agree a deal with you, you've given us great service, he's not jumped ship after playing for 2 seasons. Okay, the fact he's a local lad, but there's a business side to it as well.
You're right, but Liverpool, I mean, there's, say, Carra and Steven Gerrard, who were Liverpool sort of they were in the city, you felt as though they were almost like they couldn't leave. Almost like lads that you knew already. Then you have lads like Michael Owen, who was sort of slightly different in that they see this journey of going playing for Real Madrid and playing in different parts of the word. Beck's at United was at United from his age of 13, but he wouldn't be where he is today if he hadn't left and gone and played for Real Madrid or AC Milan or PSG. Some lads, see the part of their career. So Liverpool's part of their career, Manchester United's part of their career, and it's brilliant and they love it. But then they want to go and explore. They want to go and do things. I think personally, when I look at Trent, he looks like a lad that wants to go and explore Real Madrid. He wants to go and play in different parts of the world, and that's what.
But the argument is also that they're not getting any money from. But what about the service he's given
exactly.
them? And he might have been underpaid as a local.
We had this discussion, I think, with Jamie Redknapp a couple of weeks ago at the Tottenham game. There's sometimes frustration from Liverpool support. He's going to leave for free. He came for free. I've got no problem with that. It's like selling Virgil van Dijk in the summer for 75 million. You're breaking even. And again, it's his choice. So when I'm talking about Trent, I'm disappointed with the Real Madrid stuff coming out and that being the focus ahead of a big game, because all I think about, and the most important thing, is Liverpool.
Before Madrid, you had a problem with the situation as well. I'm saying...
Good point, Daniel.
I'm saying that...
So what was the problem?
The problem was that, how things are going and, we're hearing rumours and the contracts and the this and the that, and I'm saying...
Daniel, tell me what the problem was. That was just waffle. Tell me what I'm saying, this is a simple question I have for you. Are you saying you are happy with Trent leaving for free, or are you saying you want money for him? Which one is it? You can't stay on the fence, Jamie, and say you either want him to stay and you want to sign a contract, or you want him to leave now and you want money. But you can't have it both ways. That's football. The fans... I'm a fan of Liverpool too. I love Trent Alexander-Arnold. When did I say I wanted him to be sold now for money? And when did I say I was unhappy? No, stop. When did I say I was unhappy with him going for free? I have never, ever said I had a problem with him going for free. I've constantly said and defended him to other Liverpool fans and on this show that the lad came for nothing, and if he leaves for nothing, there should be no criticism for that. In terms of selling him right now, I'm disappointed because I know how transfer works, how football works. He will have known Real Madrid are putting a bid in. Real Madrid can do what they want. My problem is Liverpool are going for a league title here. It's January, and he will have known that, and that will kick up a fuss ahead of a big game.
It's the same thing as Salah. It's the same thing for Salah, though. You can't say one thing for Trent, a local lad who should be revered by the fans, like yourself. Like
I had to go with Salah.
No, I'm saying like yourself, like Steven Gerrard. Trent is one of you guys. He's someone who's been at the club from the academy. He's come through to the age of 27 years of age.
Yeah.
He's at a point now where the club have allowed his contract to get to this point.
Okay,
It wasn't Trent's fault.
we know
so,
that.
so the fact of the matter is, if Real Madrid decide, you know what, we're going to test the waters, they might have had a flirt up. We know our football. We know football. We know what's happening. They might have had a flirt up.
Not a problem.
That's not a problem.
My only problem with Trent, in terms of if he leaves, it's not anger or I'm not happy with him. It's probably disappointment, because when we've talked about Michael Owen going or Steve McManaman going, Liverpool weren't a top team. So you're thinking, OK, we're going to the biggest club in the world. The disappointment for me as a local player is that Trent is a local player. He's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool are on the verge of maybe this season equaling Manchester United in league titles, maybe winning another European Cup. He could be the captain in 2 or 3 years and the guy who lifts these trophies. So Liverpool supporters will be disappointed, and that's where my disappointment comes from. If you're a Liverpool fan, that's like your chance to put the club... But he will think differently. But if I was in his position, that would be my mentality. I can put Liverpool in a position where we go above United in league titles. I could lift the trophy.
So you're saying you want him to stay and you want him to sign a contract?
So Gary, could I just ask Daniel on this? Is there a price where it becomes attractive then, right now, in January?
No, what I'm saying is, if the club want the player to stay, they offer him the money that they feel his agents have been asking for. Clearly, they've not met that value, because if they have, he'd have signed the dotted line. The same goes for Mo. The same goes for Verge.
You don't sell him now. You won't sell him in January.
No, don't sell him. The one thing I would say is what you have said about the 3 players is quite regularly, is that you see Trent Alexander-Arnold being different because he's a local lad and he won't be revered. So if Mo Salah leaves and Van Dijk leave, they'll still be legends. Whereas if Trent leaves, he won't be seen as legend because he's a local lad and he's almost left us. That's one thing you have said, which... I think Trent has to deal with that.
Do you think that's fair, Gary?
No, well, I know what he means by it, but to be honest with you, I think...
By the way, that's not my... I'm just telling you how the Liverpool fan base... That's
what you have said. So,
and that is different. And I've been a local lad, and at times we do... I'm not always saying Liverpool supporters are right. I think sometimes some of the things are not harsh, but we are treated slightly different. Now, you're talking about Liverpool not matching what Trent wants.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not having a go. You don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, though.
No, my point being is, there's no banner in the cop saying give Trent his dough, but there's one for Mo Salah. There'd never be one there for Trent, because there's almost this feeling as a local player, you should be happy to play for him. This is an honour. You're one of us.
So maybe, Daniel, Liverpool have matched what Trent and his advisors want in terms of a contract. That is a possibility, but maybe he just wants to leave in the summer and wants to try something else. And if he does, is that fine by you?
I think he's been an incredible player for Liverpool Football Club, and whatever Trent wants to do with his career is his decision. I think Liverpool have had ample opportunity to sign a player, and guess what? I am a fan of Liverpool. I love Liverpool. I would love Trent to stay and to be like a Stevie G and like yourselves, where you lift.
And what a way to go if he wants to win the league.
Yeah, of course.
But it's the important thing that whatever happens right now, that it doesn't derail what is happening for Liverpool this season.
What could derail it if he defends like he did for the rest of the season? Whatever happens at Liverpool, the fans were angry with him today. But whatever with the contract situation, they were angry with him because they're going, listen, you got to defend better than that.
So is that performance?
Footballing point.
Is that performance from Trent almost a chance for Arne Slot to use to help refocus his mind ahead of the 4 or 5 months ahead?
He's got to get his performances right, but it's not the first time. I mean, Trent's been taken off in certain games anyway at the end of matches to be able to...
No, but he's really bad.
He was taken off against City as well when I think Kwanzaa came on as well. He was taken off in other games this season. It's happened before. I'm not saying that he should have been taken off against City, but what I would say about Trent Alexander-Arnold is he has to have that choice. My view is that Real Madrid is a very appealing football club, and, you know, Liverpool's an amazing football club, so if he stays, he wins. But if he goes... You know, I didn't want David Beckham to leave to go to Real Madrid when he'd been through the ranks since he was 13 at Manchester United all those years ago, but he wanted to take that journey and do different things and go to Real Madrid and sort of expand his life. I think Trent might have that in him, that he thinks, look, I've achieved everything I can at Liverpool. I want to win the... He'll be no one more desperate to win the league than him this year, and Salah and Van Dijk. If they're going to go, they'll want to win the league. So if they win the league, wins 2 championships, 2 Premier League titles, he wins a Champions League trophy. He's done everything at Liverpool, so he can then go and play for Real Madrid.
Can I ask you guys? I want to ask you all a question here. Do you feel he's at the level now in his career where he should be revered in the same light as the Stevie Gs?
I don't think he feels respect. I don't think he feels respected.
In terms of Liverpool,
do you think what he's achieved at the club since the age of 18 to 27 is he looked at in that same light?
That'll come. Listen, he's.
But it should
Listen,
come,
okay.
Jamie. We're not talking about a 21-year-old. We're talking about a 27-year-old. International, won Champions League, Premier League, this, that, and the third.
No,
We're not talking about a kid.
I don't think he is.
Hang on. Listen, well, I know a lot more than you.
Okay.
Listen, there's murals all around. You come in and you see murals of all different players. He was the first one who had one.
You'd have to do well not to have a mural in Liverpool. I mean, everyone's got a mural.
You haven't.
I have. He did have one, actually. But he's the scouser in our team. He is. He's Liverpool defend him to the hill. They absolutely adore.
You
what
know,
are you saying?
And I suppose, Gary, I suppose there's another question.
You haven't got a clue what you're talking about.
So there's two things. One is adulation, to be fair, in Liverpool. He does get adulation, but not to the levels of, say, Robbie Fowler or Steven Gerrard or people like that. He doesn't.
He's a right back.
Right.
And he's a different character.
Oh, my God, he's a hell of a player, by the way.
But his career hasn't finished
But Gary, is that the kind of the character he is, though?
Maybe,
He's not
but-
a Robbie Fowler, you know that?
No, but maybe. But what I'm saying,
Yeah,
he made me
rough and
feel.
ready.
But maybe what I'm saying,
He's a chappy type of
his
thing,
performance levels. He's won more with Liverpool than any of those lads I've just mentioned. By the way,
He's absolutely adored by Liverpool fans. Where's this nonsense?
Secondly, I don't think.
He's
Secondly, and through probably people like
seriously.
us at times, probably people like, he can't even at times get in the England team. So he probably doesn't feel he gets the respect in this country that he should get.
Thomas
for his
Tuchel was here today, by the
Yeah,
way.
but my point is, he'll probably feel like, hang on a minute, if any other country in the world had me, Brazil, Portugal, I'd be the star player. I'd be like, never even thought of being dropped. He can't even get in the national teams. We are a bit.
So are you blaming for that?
No, I'm just forget that.
Who are you blaming for that?
I said there's two different situations. One is Liverpool. Does he get the same love as Carra, Gerrard, Fowler? No. Does he?
I can assure you, he gets a lot more than me.
Right. Okay. Secondly, I don't think he gets the love in the country as much as probably he should do.
There's people like you.
I just said I accepted the fact that I've been critical of his defensive performances. Roy's been critical today. We don't help sometimes.
Where's this idea come from? If he goes to Real Madrid or he's Brazilian or he's Portuguese, that these countries don't care about people defending?
No,
where's this come from?
They do, but my point is he probably just feels like he wants to maybe go and experience something else in his life.
And Gary, by the way, what would you do if Real Madrid came to your agent and promised the world?
To be fair, Dave, I was literally anybody could come for me. I was never ever leaving my club. Ever. It's never going to happen. And no one did come for me.
That was my next question.
Well, it's a strange one, this Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. I mean, is he really that good of a player? I mean, he's all right, but to say he's a legend, I think that's a bit of a stretch. To be perfectly honest, he's great going forward, and he'd be a great wing back. But as a right back, he's just I don't know. I don't think he's good enough defensively. You know, it's interesting that they've got Gary Neville on the panel there, because I think Gary Neville was better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a lot better than Gary Neville going forward. Well, I say a lot better. He wasn't even a lot better, because Gary Neville was good going forward, and he had a good right foot as well. Scored a lot of goals. He didn't score a lot of goals. He assisted a lot of goals. Beg your pardon. A little bit of a brain fart there from the Big D. And Gary Neville was a miles better defender as well than Trent Alexander-Arnold. But I suppose Trent suits today's game. You know, he's a big lad. He's a fine athlete. He's fast. He's quick as well. You know, he's good bombing forward. And in terms of sort of the way Liverpool play, then he kind of suits that system, because there's no real traditional wingers anymore. So it's almost as if the fullbacks have taken up the mantle of, you know, the traditional winger. So they're the ones that, you know, whip the balls in and cross the balls in and get assists and whatnot. Whereas back in the day, it would be a player like David Beckham or a Dan Anderton or a Steve McManaman or someone like that, you know. And speaking of Steve McManaman, I mean, it's two separate situations. The McManaman going to Liverpool and Trent going to going to Real Madrid, and Trent going to Real Madrid. But at the same time, it is very similar. It's really weird. I mean, McManaman left Liverpool because he wanted to win things, really. And as Carragher rightly pointed out in that clip, Liverpool really weren't that good back then. I mean, they were just kind of a thorn in United's side more than anything. They were maybe the, fifth or sixth best team in the league. I mean, they did have a couple of really good players. I mean, Michael Owen was about to burst through. I don't think he'd quite broken through just yet. I mean, they had Robbie Fowler, who was a devastating attacker at that time. I think they had Stan Collymore, who was a pretty decent striker as well. But outside of those guys, I mean, who else did they really have? they had McManaman, obviously, but no one really springs to mind that the Big D can think of at this moment. Gerrard hadn't broken through yet, so you can kind of see why McManaman, went to Real Madrid. And he went to Real Madrid when they were, I think that they were European champions at the time, because McManaman won the European Cup with them in 2000, and he won the European Cup with them, or Champions League even, in 2002 as well. So, it was kind of justified. He won 2 league titles and 2 Champions League titles, and I think he won a couple of La Liga titles as well. So, but in this instance, Trent, he's won everything with Liverpool. He's won the league with them, and he's probably going to win a second league title as well. And he's won the Champions League as well. And, I mean, he's 27. He's probably made loads of money as well. So he might even be a little bit bored as well. And, I mean, not seen as a legend? Well, he's not a legend. He's not as good as Dennis Irvin was. He's not as good as Gary Neville was. Not all round, anyway. He's not as good as what Ashley Cole was. I mean, who else is there that you can compare him to, So, I don't know. I don't see why he just doesn't go over there. He'll be getting paid a fortune. It'll be different. His mates over there, Jude Bellingham, he's going to be playing in the best team in the world, and they are, like, by a mile, to be fair, Real Madrid. They're just absolutely insane. And if he goes there for free, he's going to get a big, fat wedge for a signing on fee. Plus, he's probably going to be getting 300 grand a year a week as well. And it's going to be a nice warmer climb and something new. And it'll probably extend his career for quite some time and play football in the warmer weather. And also, it's not as physical as well over there, so you probably won't be getting banged about as much, or have to bang anyone about as much, and he'll suit the league. I'm with Roy on this one. I think Roy's hit the nail on the head. It's a really short career. What's the point in staying at Liverpool if you've got any doubts? I can understand Carragher or Neville wanting to stay with their respective clubs and show some loyalty, because they just seem like local lads that just want to, like home birds, so to speak, like Paul Scholes was. But yeah, I get that impression with Trent. He looks like someone that that wants to experience different climbs, new experiences, and try and test himself and challenge himself in other leagues. So if Real Madrid come in for you with the team that they've got, he's going to start, obviously, because I'm not even sure who their right back is at present. Is it still Carvajal? I'm not entirely sure, but he's going to get a big fat wedge. He's going to get a big fat wedge per week as well. He's going to be playing with Mbappe. He's going to be playing with Vinny Jr., Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo, Hendricks coming through, who's meant to be the new R9. Camavinga's class. And they've got Rudiger over there. They've got some good goalies and that. And it's Ancelotti too. So, yeah, good for him. God bless. Get yourself away. And Liverpool will replace him. No problem. I mean, it's not going to take a lot of money to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. You'll be able to find someone, as long as your scouts are good. And they've done really well at sort of building teams over the past, 10 years, shall we say, at Liverpool. Especially, obviously, since the Klopp era anyway. And they've always, they've been absolutely fantastic in the transfer window, Liverpool. You've got to give them their due. They haven't spent anywhere near amount of money as Man United, but they've won more bigger trophies, shall we say. Or shall we say they've won the trophies that matter. And that is the Premier League and the Champions League. So I'm sure they'll be able to replace a right back at Liverpool. I mean, Man United found Patrick Dorgu and got him for like a snip. And he looks like a signing, so I mean, it remains to be seen whether or not Man United's current scouts are any better than Liverpool. I doubt they are at this point. I don't know. But Liverpool scouts have been absolutely fantastic in all the players that they've bought, so it should be easy. And you know, there's a big thing about cash flow income as well when it comes to football clubs these days, especially with this PSR nonsense. So not having to pay Trent 300 grand a week or getting whatever, I don't know what he's on at the moment. I don't know if he's on 200 grand a week at the moment. I don't know. But whatever it is, they'll be able to sort of, you know, wipe that from the books and get someone in for probably less than 100 grand a week, especially if it's a player that they've scouted from some Slovenian league or something, and they get him in, they'll probably take 50 grand a week for the time being and then build up his wages depending on how well he does in the league, you know. So it's a win-win financially for Liverpool, and Carragher made an absolutely fantastic point in that he came for nothing and he's going for nothing. So, you know, he's given Liverpool a good chunk of his prime. They've won everything. So he hasn't extorted them or anything like that. He hasn't offended them. He's went about his business as best he can as a professional. It's not like he's down tools or anything like that. So I don't think Liverpool owe Trent anything, and I don't think Trent owes Liverpool anything. And I mean, just going back to that McManaman situation, Liverpool were lucky to have McManaman for as long as they did. So, and he tried his best for a long time at Liverpool to, you know, to do something with them, but unfortunately they just couldn't quite get over the line. So it's not as if Liverpool owed him anything or he owed them anything. Well, Liverpool owed McManaman a better side, but, you know, their back room was in chaos back then. But in this instance, it would be a clean break. But then again, if he does stay, then fair enough. If he stays, fine. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm not bothered if he stays or goes. In terms of it affecting Man United, I mean, I've seen Marcus Rashford skin Trent Alexander-Arnold before and sit him down. So if Marcus Rashford can do it and he's crap, then yeah, fine, stay. You know, we'll get someone else to try and do it as well. Because but I don't want to go into too much detail about Man United. Not on this channel. This is a different channel. But yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold at Real Madrid. Yeah, I think that would be a very, very good fit. He's tactically astute, Trent, so he can play it right back. He can play it right wing back as well. He could probably play right midfield as well. You know, should it be called upon, shall we say? So, be a good fit. Be a good fit. But what do you guys think? Do you think Trent Alexander-Arnold should go to Real Madrid? Should he become a Galactico signing? Should he link up with Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe and Eduardo Camavinga? Or should he stay at Liverpool and just try and win more trophies? I think, actually, it's just occurred to me, I think Trent has seen the writing on the wall. I think he's looked at the Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah situation. And also he's you know, Jurgen Klopp leaving has probably played a part in this, and he's looked at his own situation, and he's maybe saw sort of the winds of change come about when he's thought, maybe sort of, you know, for this sort of cycle of Liverpool player, perhaps its time's up. So maybe leave while the going's good, go somewhere else, try something new, and just let them get on with whatever's going to happen. Because, as they were saying in that clip there, how are they going to replace Mo Salah? I mean, they're all talking about him being the best player in the league and all of this, and being better than Thierry Henry and all that crap. So how are they going to replace him so easily? How are they going to replace Virgil van Dijk? I mean, are they going to be able to pay those guys what they want to be paid, comparable to what they could get elsewhere? I mean, how far are they from going over the hill? They must be on the cusp of being over the hill. And if they are on the cusp of going over the hill, you know, why would Liverpool want to pay Mo Salah 400 grand per week when he could have a massive drop-off over the next 12 months and they have to pay him for the next 2 years? I mean, look at Casemiro at Man United. You know, he was class for that first season, and then all of a sudden there was a massive drop-off, but we're still paying him 400 grand a week or whatever it is. And it's the same with Virgil van Dijk. I mean, these guys are not these two specific players are not 27 years old like Trent is. So Trent's probably looked at that situation and thought, well, I'm 27, I'm in my prime, I've won everything here. I'm not sure where this team's going to go, especially under Arne Slot. I mean, it's all well and good, he's done really well in his first season, but that's with Klopp's team. Is he going to be able to replicate Klopp's success? Maybe he doesn't want to take that chance. Maybe he wants to get a bumper contract at Real Madrid, where, I mean, you just look at that team, it's dripping in youth and class. So that could be a situation for Trent. But again, anyway, what do you think? Should he go to Real Madrid or should he stay at Liverpool? As always, thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.